right, some good news in from Paris. The redemption tour, as they call it, continues for Team USA Gymnastics. The women win the gold today in the all-around, so they return to the top of the podium in the team competition after having a disappointing finish 3 years ago for the superstars like Simone Biles, certainly, and also for Suni Lee. Those two know a thing or two about stacking up the gold medals. Biles now is reportedly, with all of her success, worth an estimated $20 million. Suni Lee, though, is able to leverage this Olympic success she's had to sign some big brand deals while she's still in college. There's this new world of NIL, otherwise known as name, image, and likeness. And while more and more student athletes are being shown the money, what do they do with the money is the next big question. That's the question for our next guest. Head of Merrill Private Wealth Management, Greg McGauley, joins us. So perfect timing, Greg, right? They just won. I don't know, be a spoiler. People want to watch it tonight, but they won the gold over there, the women in the team competition, which is terrific. It is interesting to a sport like gymnastics. You wouldn't think it, but now they are in the money because of NIL. Of course, a lot of other athletes you've probably been dealing with for years have already been making millions. So what do you do with them? What's the first step for someone who's new to this and wants to invest?
Well, financial education is critical to people at any age, especially for young people. And we've created a partnership with IMG Academy that's really geared around creating financial education for their students as they think about what their future may look like. And there's various pathways for a graduate of IMG to be able to follow. Some may go and have the opportunity to get an NIL opportunity and capitalize on that. Others may end up, as in the history of IMG, going into professional sports. And that's a different pathway with different kinds of complexity.
Right.
And you also may have students that go to the Olympics where they need to create their own opportunity there with regards to funding Olympic campaigns and performing in their sport and loving it just for the sake of it. So it's all of those elements come into providing them the right level of decision-making and the right set of tools and background to make fully informed financial decisions.
I think Suni Lee's a really interesting story, right, we're showing here. I mean, everybody talks, rightfully so, by the way, about Simone Biles, but she's a little older. I think she's 27, so even after the last Olympics, she was kind of out of college. But Suni Lee was just starting, I think, at Auburn in the last Olympics, or she went to Auburn right after the Olympics. So she was just becoming an athlete, right, at a time when they changed the rules, said, all right, you can make a few bucks off this. And in her case, it was more than a few, and she set up all those endorsement deals. So that was kind of a world-changing event for people. You know, it didn't affect a ton of people. There's plenty of college athletes that don't make money, but someone like her, all of a sudden now you're in the money. So what does people like her need to think about? I mean, there's probably some mistakes people make a lot that you see and you try to get out ahead of, right?
Well, listen, we have seen athletes over the course of time make financial decisions that are not in their best interest. But really what it starts with is thinking about like 5 kind of like fundamentals. One is around saving, investing, learning how to control their spending, right? Sharing in terms of the charitable work that they may do, and also what do they do with their earnings. So the first thing that like an athlete should maybe think about in terms of their financial education is figuring out like what is their budget? What are they going to need to support themselves? What are they going to need to support their coaching and their further professional development? And can they live within a budget that's based on those means and be able to perform their sport? The other is like think of the impact of taxes on a young person.
Yes.
Young people have never really experienced the real impact of taxation, and that can change their spending and their budget in a major way. Another one that impacts especially young people today is their financial security. Being able to make sure that they have the right perspective on maintaining security around their personal finances is critical, especially if they're in the press or being able to attract fans.
Oh.
And then another important one is just their ability to save. The power of compounding is so important today.
So compounding, you said, because it's interesting because that's the life of their career compared to the rest of us. They make a lot more money sometimes, athletes, but they're not doing it for a long time. So I think you probably emphasize that, and not spending like Floyd Mayweather, for example, when you make some money, but saving it for the long term.
Listen, putting money away now will impact their outcomes for their entire lifetime.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.